You can't say anything. You just have to sit and give Uncle a teasy. Ready? Ready? So hey guys, today we're talking button clutches, i.e. old school. We're talking like pre-2000, 2001, 2002. If you don't know what a button clutch is, I'm going to explain it to you. Most of you guys in the sled world know what it is, but for all you guys trying to resurrect some older stuff, everything's a button clutch. Even the old Yamahas, Arctic Cats, they all got button clutches. I'm going to explain that to you what that is. So first of all, we're going to take this one apart. All you need is a snap ring pliers, and you can get that tool we offer on our website. It is a SLP clutch holder tool, but not necessary. I'll show you how I do it just in the garage. It's pretty quick and easy. So first thing you want to do, let's take the spring off. So in order to do that, you got to wind the clutch, hang on to it. Then what we're going to do is push down on the helix, like that. Take the spring off, and then put your hand on. Make sure you don't let go of the clutches, or the shivs, because it's going to shoot this up. Most of them are stuck on there, so you don't have to worry about it, especially when it gets older. But so we're going to let this go. This unwinds, and the helix pops up. You can see I don't have a spring in there right now, but I didn't have the right spring, so just pretend there's one in there. So there, you got your helix off. So the reason they call it a button clutch from back in the day, there's 3 little buttons in here. They're made out of nylon or some type of Teflon material. Those buttons there slide on the helix. Oops. And they still use it. Well, they don't use it anymore. But right up until like 2002, 2003, they were still using it. Not much has changed. Of course, now all the new rollers, teams come out with a new roller one. Yeah, so when you put these in, that slides on the buttons. So a lot of times what happens, guys, is those buttons get wore right down, and this helix starts rubbing aluminum on aluminum. And it really buggers up your shifting, and the sled feels boggy, and it won't shift and won't go anywhere, so you got to change these. They're real simple. They're still available. I know Rec Supply out of Saskatoon's got them. You probably can get them in Alberta somewhere or all over the States. I don't know. Every dealer's still got those things. Easy way to remove them. Drill a hole in the middle. Take a wood screw. Screw it in there a little bit. Pull it out with the pliers. Works every time. It's nice and easy. I'm not going to sacrifice these ones because they're still pretty good. What I normally do when it's sprung like that, I'm going to go through this again. And I'll show you how to do it without a clutch tool. So let's say we got that on there. Snap ring is in there. So what I normally do, get your snap ring in your hand, and we're going to take it to the ground. Go down to the ground. What I normally do is I'll wind it, hang on to it, and then I put my knee on the helix to push it down so it can't spring up at you. Then I take the snap ring off, sit on the ground, and then release it nice and slow, and the helix pops right out. A lot of times on an older sled, because this is steel on the inside of the helix and steel here, they corrode quite a bit. So they'll stick, and it's kind of hard to get them off. You gotta soak them in WD-40 or some type of lubricant for a couple days. Eventually they come off, but they do eventually come off. So that's how you get them apart. And then you're gonna clean them like normal. But sometimes what happens, when they do come apart, some guys don't hang on to it and it pops out. You've got these 4 holes in a helix. This is old school helix stuff. Most of them have 4, some have 5. The aftermarket ones like Erlandson have 5. There's 5 positions, or 4 in that one, but only 1 in there. Hello. Got 1 spring hole in there. When you put this thing back together, default for Polaris back in the day was hole number 2. So hole number 2 starts from the right. So as you turn it counterclockwise, it gets stronger. So you want to put it in hole number 2. Put it in hole number 2, then you put it in your clutch, in the hole that's the only hole that's in the center, or in the clutch shiv, I guess, in the face. And then, no end in. So what we're going to do, because I don't have the right spring, I'm kind of improvising here. So putting it back together, first we're going to line up the keyways for the helix. Get this sucker in there. Then we're going to the floor. So now we got our keyway in, the helix. So the helix can't move on the shaft. So before he gets down onto the buttons, what we want to do is we're going to take this clutch, wind it a quarter turn. Make sure you hang on to it because it's sprung now, right? And make sure you got a fairly good grip on the helix because it might pop out at you, but usually they don't. Then we push it down with my knee and hand. I take the old snap ring, make sure the square side's up. Put it on there, make sure it moves, it's tight. Not going to come off, and then release it. So now your clutch is sprung, it's got the right amount of tension, and she's ready to go. That's your basics in button clutch kind of removal and take apart and put back together. If you guys got any questions, make sure you leave your comments below. And come on and subscribe if this helped you out. Click the bell notification. Thanks for tuning in.